Hey everyone, Jules Wilson here at our studio at our Huntington Beach office with Seven Gables Real Estate. Now, I am so excited to be with my good friend and honestly, life insurance expert Jaril Tudio with the Jaril Group. So excited to see you.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so excited to be here today.
Well, listen, now some people can say insurance and all it's kind of boring. But first off, you have that great personality and I know you love your work.
I do. I do.
That's why I want to have you on. But listen, let's break up some perhaps untruths. A lot of people think life insurance, okay, you get it, so you have something to protect your family or children when you pass away, whatever. There's a lot more sexiness to it than that, right?
Correct.
Tell us some of the benefits and why people, what are you offering? Why are you so excited, Jaril?
So it's funny because life insurance is not the sexiest topic, right? But it's not called death insurance for a reason. There's so many living benefits associated with life insurance.
Oh, I've never heard it said that way.
Right?
That's
so
a good one.
If you think about it, life insurance is not for the dead, it's for the people living. It's something you pass on. Not just that, but while you're living, there are benefits.
Okay.
And so the two concepts of life insurance, I think to oversimplify is, you have the temporary insurance, which is the term insurance, and then you have the permanent policy.
Right.
So because you're in real estate, I'm going to put it in the housing concept, right?
Sure.
So it's like renting versus owning.
Oh.
Okay.
I never thought about that before.
So like, the term insurance is like you're renting, you're paying while because you can't afford a permanent policy right now. You can't afford a permanent home.
Okay.
And then when you could buy smaller pieces of the permanent policy or buy a large piece.
Okay.
And the cash value growth in those policies, to convert it to conceptualize it in real estate, it's like equity.
Oh, okay.
Right?
All right. Okay, nice. So you said earlier when we were talking about, say for example, I know there's business or there's personal, right? So let's start with business because a lot of us are small business owners, right? So I have a partner, my partner passes away, I need to buy he or she out. How do I do that?
So
with life insurance.
So you mentioned business owners. So what I do is I help individual and business owners, right? So on the business side, you could have a person who owns a business and they work with their business attorneys, they have a partner, they want to set up a buy-sell agreement.
Okay.
And now this is where I come in because your attorneys won't have the products to fund that.
Right.
We will set up buy-sell insurance to fund your...
And buy-sell means when one of the partners passes, they can buy out the other.
Correct.
Right? Okay.
Because imagine owning a business and if you and I own this restaurant at my demise, then my children will be your partner. Would you like that?
Not
I don't
really.
think so.
I
They're in
like
fashion.
them,
They're in fashion.
Not that much, no. I like to have fun with them, but not
so
to
you
own a
will
business.
pay them out their portion of the ownership of the
Jaril,
business.
where do I get that money?
Correct. So this is when life insurance comes in.
Oh, okay.
And then on the individual side, so most of the high net worth individuals I'm helping, they would have estate taxes.
So wait, would I buy the life insurance so that I can pay out my partner who passed away?
Right.
Oh, so it's like a savings account almost.
So there's so many concepts. Actually, you could have a survivorship or, the business owns the insurance. That's more like going nitty gritty on.
But basically, you can use life insurance for those things that people don't even think about to help you.
Correct. So to oversimplify, I think life insurance would be your funding mechanism.
Oh, okay.
In your business succession planning, in your exit strategy.
Okay.
Because you have the concept, most business owners, they're very busy with their everyday operation. They're usually, their goal is, what are we going to do this year, next 3 years, 5 years?
Right.
What happens is you want to set this up while you're healthy and strong because a lot of times your business succession is tied to your health, to your performance.
Of course.
If somebody's buying this business and the performance is based on your performance, but when you get sick, all of a sudden the value of your business might change.
Okay.
Right.
So do you help guide them on how much insurance they should get based on maybe what their business is worth? Right. What is that? You do that as well?
So I sit down with usually I sit down with their CPAs.
Okay.
I'm part of that conversation. So remember when we went to the Inspire Luncheon?
Yes.
You have a team. I'm part of that team. So you have your financial advisor, you have your estate planning attorneys or business attorney, you have your CPA, and then you have me because a lot of times, so my strategic partnership are with those three.
Okay.
Because they usually don't know enough, or they don't offer the solutions that I offer.
Right.
So the solutions that I offer are the insurance products that have tax advantages.
Okay, one thing I love about Jaril, I can say this, factually, I know you are an insurance broker, so you scour the land, so to speak, for the best policies that would match the recommendation of you and the CPA and all the team, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, even my industry is always, adjusting, always moving. So you have concepts. The needs are the same in a sense, but usually when you're a business owner or high net worth individual, your needs are a little bit more complicated, and so we have to build those solutions based on the objectives, right? So, I mean, if you're a high net worth individual, you don't just need life insurance to cover death, because usually you have the funds already.
Right.
What
you're good point.
Right? You could be self-insured, but do you want to pay for 49% of your income or your money that you've set aside for taxes when you pass away?
And life insurance avoids that?
Your life insurance, there's certain ways you could do that. You could set up an ILIT, which is an irrevocable life insurance trust.
Okay.
There's
a lot.
There's a lot. It's a little bit complicated, and what clients love when they sit down with me is that they hear 3 to 5 concepts that they don't normally hear from other financial advisors or life insurance agents or brokers, because I'm very involved with estate planning and their tax planning.
Well, another thing I love about Jaril, you're a mother of 3,
Yes.
3 adult children. So, well, adult is kind of problematic, but they're old. They're not 16, just like mine. But what I love about Jaril, too, is she comes to it through a mindset of also a mother. She really cares about you as a family. It's not just, selling a couple of policies. I know it's for a fact. I've seen her at work in action. We have a lot of common friends and business associates. And she cares about what's right for your family, not only your business, but your family. So what about life insurance to help the individual?
So, for example, you mentioned my children. I use them for example. I normalize the education. So a lot of times, life insurance, I'm not product pitching. It's more financial literacy, really.
Yeah.
Hearing the concept, and everything is curated for that person. If I'm sitting down with Jules Wilson and I know your financial situation, I know you own a home at Corona Del Mar and you have children. I mean, it might be different than what I would recommend to a single mom with 3 kids, right? But even with my children, I simplify it to the point where they could understand it.
Oh, that's good.
Hey, set aside 20% of your income. It's too big. Let's do your financial budgeting first. Let's write down what you have. Let's set instead of using jargons or languages like, what's your financial statement and all that stuff. Let's work on your budget. Let's sit down, write down all the expenses, minus, and then we could see where your money is going.
Okay, so give me one of your best success stories.
Okay, so let's start with a business owner. They own a business together. One of them passed away. And
this is a true story, right?
It's a true story.
Okay.
The value of the business obviously have increased over the years, and they didn't really set that aside, the funds. Obviously, you don't want to take the portion of your cash flow from the business to pay out the
surviving person.
The surviving
of course.
person.
Yeah.
So you utilize life insurance to pay for that. Now, on the individual side, you have a family who I have a family, they thought they're self-insured. The husband was telling the wife, cancel that insurance because we don't need it. I think I'm going to die first. Lo and behold, we don't know. We don't have a crystal ball.
Right.
My girlfriend passed away first.
Oh, gosh.
And the husband was so surprised because I talked him out of canceling the policy. The husband was surprised that there's funds available for him to keep their family home.
Oh, that's
so good. To pay for his long-term care event, because again, there's living benefits to that life insurance.
Good.
And it will pay towards his care. He needs a caregiver. His wife passed away before he did, and all this time he thought he would pass away before his wife.
Wow. Okay. Now suppose someone feels like, gosh, I just can't afford, I don't know how much it is a month. It depends on what your net worth is, right? But how do people that are on tight budgets even afford something like this? Can they start little?
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is why I always sit down with individual. Like I said, even my kids, if my kids could afford it, you could start with, get a small policy to make sure you cover something.
Yeah.
I always put in this concept, like you have insurance on your cell phone. I'm pretty sure you could afford to put something away.
Right.
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 It doesn't have to be as massive as the plan as the billionaire next door.
Right.
I mean, but
What's
you
the
know,
lowest you've ever done for somebody?
I remember doing $15 a month.
Oh, wow. So you really customize it for anybody.
I mean, especially in the beginning, I would have some, you know, in the beginning of my career in
Right.
2013.
Right.
You know,
But if someone can afford 100 or 500 a month, you could do that? It's worth
correct. It's very different. I have clients right now, like in the Jaril group, because I also help with group benefits.
Right.
I have clients who wants to self-insure their premiums.
Oh.
You know, of $1 million every month that they're paying on the health insurance.
Right.
And so I'm adding captive insurance.
Okay.
You know, on the PNC.
Okay.
side.
Well, I think the best thing about you, Jaril, obviously you're knowledgeable, but I have to say this about Jaril. I don't think I've met a person who sells life insurance who's excited about it as you are. So either you're a little crazy, which we know you are already, or you're a gift. No, seriously. One thing I love about, and you're constantly learning. Every time I talk to you, you're talking about being constantly educated. Correct. So how can people get a hold of you, Jaril?
I mean, I'm always available. I have my assistant that could also schedule the appointment. You could contact me through my website or social media, thejarilgroup.com, and also I'm very involved in Newport Chamber.
Give out your number, and we'll put that on the screen as well.
That's right, 949-307-7525. And also what's great is that, you know, nowadays we could be mobile, you know.
That's right.
You send me an email, either I or my assistant will reach out and reply and schedule the appointment. I like to have that one-on-one first before I offer solution, but it's not for everybody. But I think if you think about it, again, let's go back to the cell phone concept, right? Your iPhone 16, you have insurance on that.
Yeah, and it doesn't cost you anything to meet with Jaril. Actually, it doesn't cost you anything to get the life insurance because you work with all the different brokers, right? So there's no reason to not have a meeting with you.
Correct. I mean, even if it's just you know, just learning something, a concept, that's education.
Sure.
I would love to share that. I mean, I've done a few webinars. You could check me out on YouTube. I've done a lot of like videos starting from 2013, probably when I started in this industry.
Well, listen, once again, I can't recommend Jaril Tudio enough with the Jaril Group. She's passionate, she's educated, honest, and most importantly, excited about what you do. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.